All right, everybody. This is a walkthrough on the lab interface because I've received some requests from the students. That might be because of lack of familiarity with the interface, because the students who took the forensics class with me were not as challenged, right? So let me share this screen. I'm looking at the screen for the use to for the canvas. So on canvas for me, it's going to look different than yours. But like see lesson one, I will show you. I mean, if I view as a student, if I click view as a student, you're only going to see the Internet and Cybersecurity Foundation as an overdue assignment. And today you see lab number 3. But let me go back because one student asked for lab number 2. So let me exit the student view and go to my instructor view. And then you'll see how you can do the lab number 2. So lab lesson 1 had just a quiz, but it's lesson 2 that has the risk assessment. But let me see if I click on lab for lesson 2, it's going to take me straight. And remember, please do the labs or get to U certify via the Canvas link, right? Don't try and go somewhere else, right? Because then I'm going to have an issue recording your grades, right? Or if you're doing like so, I don't know what you're seeing, but let me just make sure that we're seeing the same screen. Let's go back and let's share the screen again. So this is the screen that I want you to see. So you see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 lab. But let's just say gathering site information. When you click on 2.2.1 to do the lab, you need to read these instructions. But what I want you as a student to make sure, you see this lab, this says watch me first. You need to watch this first. It gives you a guideline on what to do. If you watch me first, and it talks to you about the interface, and I'm going to also show you what happens with the lab. So I play this, right? Just in case you cannot hear the view, but you need to watch this first. It's just telling you how to do this lab, right? So make sure you watch this lab. I didn't give any test, but maybe I should be doing a test. Once you finish this lab, it makes it easy for you to understand a lot of the questions that some of you are asking me, right? Let's exit this full screen for a minute here. So once you finish watching this, you close this. Now, how you go to the lab, right? This is a Kali Linux, which is another flavor of Linux, right? But you see here, which remember introduction. See here, part A on this lab, adding hack search pro add, right? So the instructions are pretty straightforward in here. But let's say you were confused. You look at the bottom in here, it says solution video. When you click here to watch the video, it tells you the solution to this exercise. Now, giving you the opportunity to do the labs over and over again, right? But this is straightforward. Here it tells you what to do, right? You just click through that and then you see that. But let me, without watching the video, let's go back and see what it says about step 1. But please, this interface is very good in telling you what to do. So if you look on here, this let's go to part number 1. Introduction, it tells you what this is doing, right? Gathering site information involves the practice of extracting valuable data about a website. So in this lab, it tells you make sure you submit your solution, right? If there's additional steps, do the additional steps. So part A. Let's go to part A, scroll down together on here, right? So it says, just click on here. My screen's a little larger. Just let me reduce the screen size so you can see what I'm doing. So on here, part A, you do on here, you click show the steps. If you're confused, show the steps, right? So step number 1, on your desktop, Firefox. So let's see. First, you need to start the lab. Look at the lower left-hand corner, right? You do quick connect. So if you watch the lab, the first one that says watch me first, this will be easier for you, right? So you now know what you're supposed to do on there. Let me go back and increase my screen for some of you here. So this is how the screen looks, right? So step 1 says, on the desktop, double click the Firefox icon to open, right? Firefox, right? You may not be familiar with the web browser because most of you might use Chrome, or if you're on Apple, you might use the Safari, right, or Edge. So I'm going to click it on here, okay, and then he opens the browser. It says in the upper right corner, open the application menu, right? You've got, see, it tells you three buttons in here. So where do I look for the application menu in here, right? And then select add-ons and themes. So here, right, you scroll down, right? So you see on here, it says uh, select add-ons and themes in here. So you're looking for the add-ons and themes. You see my mouse. But if you're curious, just scroll down and read. So I click this one, add-ons and themes, and this other menu shows up, right? Okay. Then I'm going to do, says in the first, in the find more add-ons text box, type in, see here, if you're confused, just highlight this portion, right? And then copy it, right? So I hope you're following me. Straightforward. Step number 3 says, in the find more add-ons, you see on here, look around, find more add-ons, see my mouse in here. So if I want to just copy what I just put in here, maybe I can do Control V to put what I've done. But if I don't find it, I could just type it in, right? And what are we trying to look for? See on here? Right? So I'm looking for Search Pro, but if you want, you can just start and say Search Pro. Search Pro, and see if it finds it for you, right? Right? So look for different Search Pro. So search user for Search Pro, but see DuckDuckGo, different ones. Let's increase our menu here a minute here. If I go to my right side of my screen in here, right? Oh, please don't forget, let's go back to, sorry, I clicked the other menu for you, right? So here I'm doing the, if you read the lab instruction, we're looking for the Hack Search Pro, right? So when I did here, all right, so I had clicked on here to the search. Okay, remember that? And then I went down here. I'm going backwards again for some of you. I'm looking for Hack Search Pro. So let's go back again, do the on connect again, right? And I went to the, let the system come up, right? It brings me back to where I was looking for, right? I had done Search Pro, but maybe I could just do Hack, make it easier. When I hit the Hack Search Pro, right? It comes up with that, right? You see on here, and then you're going to say, the instruction that says add to Firefox. From the search result, I click add to Firefox. So it added it to Firefox. That's lab number 2, step 3, right? Part A, step 3, step 1 through 4. So now here, you're going to see now figure A, note, if the add-on isn't compatible with your Firefox version, update Firefox. So let's go down to this screen here and look. Search in some of the ways hackers will to gather Google index data about websites. So I don't have any problem in here, right? So it says here, we have permissions to access and click add, and it's added, right? So now let's go to, I've done step number 5. So let's now go to step 6 is add a hash search rule was added from click OK. Step number 6, simple, OK, right? Now let's go to part B, using the Hack Search Pro for extracting valuable data. It says never probe any website without permission. This is caveat, the legal stuff, right? Because you should only probe websites that you have permission, so you will not be committing a crime. And I know I have some students who are criminal justice majors or who are pre-law majors, right? So here, he wants us to, step 1 of part 2 is to open a new tab and navigate to www.example.com. So here, look on here, the plus sign. Okay, I'm going to now come in here. I'm going to have www.example.com. Hit enter, right? This domain is for use in illustrative examples in document. We use this domain in literature without prior coordination or ask for permission. It's like if you ever do another one, mmap, you will see another site. Okay. Step number one done, right? Step number two, I'm going to now right click anywhere on the page, right? Once the example open, right click anywhere on the page, you will notice that Hack Search Pro option appears in the context menu. So let me right click on here, right? You see right there on the bottom, Hack Search Me Pro, right? It appears in the context menu, right? All right, so that's step number two, but he also wants you to do something better. Step number three, let's go take what we want, right? Step number three says, figure D shows the options associated with Hack Search Pro. You see that right there, right? It stays on there for me. Navigate to within site. See all the options. The first one is within the site search. So I click that one. Okay. It says, little step number 4 tells you something. It says, you will not be able to see any information as we are using a sample website. You choose your own company site or one you have permission. So if you have your own website, this would be a good tool for you to check your website, right? Another similar one is the WAP Analyzer, another tool that tells you like the technology that was used to design a website, right? So this is what you're going to see now. The add-on automatically performs a Google search for index pages within the website. The list might include pages you can easily navigate to, right? So step number 5 now says, switch back to example.com homepage, right? Right-click anywhere on the page and then navigate DNS information, right? So this is my example.com domain, right? So I'm going to go back to that page, right? I'm going to now, anywhere on the page, right-click anywhere on the page. Now go to Hack Pro, and I'm going to go to DNS information. Okay, so Hack Pro, look on here, and then I take my menu, scroll down, DNS information. So domain name service is when you type in like www.google.com. That's the name, but it needs to find a way to relate that to what's called an IP address, like IPv4 or IPv6. But if you don't understand, I just know that this is what's going to tell me about information. So if I click on here, right? So now this is on step number 5. I'm done step number 5, right? It's going to give me this thing here. It says the add-ons displays a Roblex search, right? Showing details about the site's entries, including information about its physical location or email server. There are other tools to use to do this, but this is what we're doing for this lab, right? Document search. So examine other options as time allows. So you can scroll down here and look at other things you want to do. Example, just scroll. That's all it's telling you to do. Look at all these things in here. You have so much information. I've increased my screen resolution so you can see that, right? Example includes like a document. You can discover more. Nothing to check. It's malware, reputation, or built with, right? So reverse DNS lookup, a bunch of other options in here. Okay, this is more if you are trying to do some kind of recon, right? All right, so that is step number 6, right? So step number 7, right? What could you do if you found sensitive information in search of a site? So changing your site would automatically change the search engine, right? So that's just giving you some information. If any user credentials were exposed, you will need to change them. This would be a way to harden your website, right? So step number 8 is to close the Firefox window. We're able to get the DNS information on the website, right? So for example, here select yes, I'm going to say yes, right? Okay, and then the next step says, so now you are equipped with the knowledge of skills to gather site information. So since the cybersecurity class, hackers want to find out information so they can figure out how to hack your website, right? You as say a defense guy, cybersecurity analyst, we want to obviously find weaknesses in your website so that you can like close the weakness, right? So now here you could just say, This one doesn't require you to really take anything else, but if you still have to go down here and click submit and evaluate, right? And it tells you correct. So I've done this site. Some labs might require a screenshot or is grading you as you go along. So here you're now seeing, but again, just like with any lab, if you're stuck, you go back and then you can watch the solution. So please let me know if you have any questions. Do this for the other labs and then it will grade it properly. So if I went back to check on my, let me go and share the screen again. Let me go back to say, let's go and look at U-Certify to see if I did the lab correctly, right? I did the lab via Canvas, right? So if I go back and I say, I was a test, I think I'm listed as a test student. So let's go check me as a test student to see if it reports a grade for that lab, right? So test student should have been reported as I haven't done that lab, right? Would have recorded my grades on there. But more importantly, let me show you what we want to do in U-Certify. I want to go and check the actual lab in case you want to go back, right? So let me share my screen again and show you. For me on U-Certify, let's use say section A. So let's look at learner's view. That's be your learner's view, and then let's go to one of the labs. You did let's see one of them here. So I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you a lab. Yeah, that's my dashboard. Go over here, hands-on labs. And then we just looked at 2.2.1. You see, mine says is correct, right? It says the beginner. You do the same thing for this one. The harvester is another good tool. I need you to do all these labs. All right, but the point is that it tells me I did this correctly, was recorded. So if you have any questions about any of these other labs, send me. But more importantly, I will do the office hours for you. I will post the recorded video for this. And then hopefully I will see you Wednesday office hour.